Hi, it's Marianne with a scrapbooking process video. I'm using the Studio Calico April 2014 kit, the scrapbooking kit. I also had the Bessie add-on. The kit is called Bluegrass Farm. So I also did this layout for a National Scrapbooking Day challenge to use your newest stamp or mist that you hadn't used before. So I started off using some texture paste that I hadn't opened before, modeling paste, and a Heidi Swap stencil that I hadn't used before, those circle ones. And this is a new jar of modeling paste because I had another jar that had a crack in the bottom, though I didn't know it had a crack in the bottom, and it was so hard to use. It was hard like cement, and I kept struggling with it, and I wasn't sure what the problem was. So I got a new jar, and now it goes on like as easy as can be, 1, 2, 3. So I decided to try something new. Now I'm just drying it with my heat tool. I didn't realize I was off camera. And so I wanted to dry it up before I did my next step. The ideal thing to do is just to let it sit and air dry, which I ended up doing anyway. So I have some papers from the Bluegrass Farm kit and also some pattern paper from the Bessie add-on. The floral paper is from the Bessie add-on, and the graph looking paper is also from the add-on. This paper right there that I'm using has a plaid on one side, not my favorite pattern at all, but I like the flip side, which is like a grayish, has a little design on it, very neutral. So I'm going to use that as my base for my photo, and now I am using a mist that I bought. It's probably the last mist I purchased but had never opened. It's from Heidi Swap Color Shine. It is in peach, and it is such a pretty color. I love any of the Heidi Swap Color Shine mists. So I finally used it, and that really took care of the challenge part of the layout. So that part's done, and now I'm just going to, I cut a piece of paper, I misted it, and now I'm just tearing the edges for a photo mat. And I like the way that looks, and because the gray pattern paper was so light, it kind of looked closer to white than gray, so it took the mist really nicely. So I'm just going to use a piece of that floral paper and a piece of the graph paper on top of the orange cardstock. So the white texture paste, the modeling paste, was very white against the orange cardstock. So I'm just playing with the mist right here. I'm seeing what it will look like if I spritz a lot on top and then add some water and do some drips. If I'm going to like the way that looks, I'm not sure. And I was really, once I added the water to let it run, the paper was really warping. It's just cardstock, some basil cardstock. So I wasn't really sure I liked the looks of those drips anyway, so I just added more of the mist and wiped it off with some paper towel. And now the modeling paste is mostly orange. I just dried the mist because I wanted to continue on with the layout. I didn't want it to be all wet. So now I'm just going to arrange the papers the way I wanted to. I don't really have an idea for this page, and I had picked my papers ahead of time. I just went with, I felt like using a solid cardstock as a base, and then I just picked a few coordinating pieces of pattern paper, and then I went in search of a photo. And this photo that I picked is of me and my sister who passed away a few years ago, and it was taken on a Mother's Day. So when I came across it the other day, I just felt like scrapbooking it. So now I've got pretty much the paper in the places I want it to be, and just adding a little bit more Color Shine Mist, and then I'm going to add these chipboard pieces from Basic Gray, the Highline collection. They were in the Bessie add-on, so I'm just picking some that I feel will coordinate with the colors I'm using. So just picked a whole bunch, and then I'll see if they fit on the page as I go along. Like I said, I didn't really have another idea for this page, and I felt like after tearing the photo mat, I wanted to add a little contrast to it. So I inked up the edges with my Tim Holtz ink applicator, and I just used a brown ink. It's from Close to My Heart, but I also have all the distress inks. I usually just pick whatever's close at hand. And I love that brown ink pad. I use it all the time. So now I'm going to ink the edges of the other pattern papers and just kind of get things situated the way I want. I'm just putting things around the page, see what looks good. And I do like those banner pieces. I'm going to use those. And the little chipboard that says I love you, I'm going to use that. And the other little chipboard that says love this. And I was thinking I might take out the little part that says love this, but once I tried to take one out, I didn't like the way it looked. I liked it whole, so I left the letters in. And I wanted a layer to go underneath that little chipboard. So I grabbed a manila tag, inked it up with the Heidi Swap Color Shine in Peach, and then I just felt like I wanted some gold on there. There is nothing quite like the Heidi Swap Gold Lame spray. I just love it so much. And I just felt like I just wanted some gold on there. So I put a little bit on the tag. And now I'm going to look through my stash a little bit because see those rub-ons by Lux? I thought I had them in gold. I think I used them already. So I'm going to end up just pulling out one or two random things. I really need a better organization of those embellishments, but that's okay. So I didn't find the gold rub-ons. Like I said, I think I used them already. But I decided I'm going to use a doily and maybe put some butterflies on this layout, even though I don't end up using those craft colored ones. So now I'm looking through the embellishments that came with the kit and the add-on. And I'm going to use these cork leaves. And I think they're called cabochons. They're like little flower buttons, kind of. So I think the flower buttons came with the regular kit and those cork leaves came with the add-on, I believe. So I'm just arranging things the way I like them on the page. And I considered taking those cork leaves and spraying them with the gold mist, but I decided against it. So I thought I was going to use that label sticker on the top of the tag because there was kind of an odd space from when I laid down the chipboard onto the other label. There's like a little weird gap that the tag part showed through, so I'm going to struggle a little bit with putting another label on. Do I want the label on? And in the end I just take it off. It's not working. It's not what I wanted to use. And let me tell you, that basic gray chipboard, once I peeled the backing off, it was really sticky. You know how sometimes you take the little label, you peel off the sticky label and it's really not sticky? These are really sticky. So good to see that sometimes the adhesive does work. So now I'm going to have to glue down my whole page because it's kind of not glued down. So just gluing it all with my ATG, get it all together. And I'm happy so far with the way that's going to look. And I'm not too concerned with having everything straight and perfect. So I decided against the mist, and I'm just going to glue down that little cork leaf. Put a little chipboard there. And then I'm going to put a cork leaf on the other side, and then I'll probably work on the banner. I just want to get it just right. And I'm using my Scotch quick dry adhesive to adhere it. And now I have lots of glue on my fingers. I'm trying to clean them. Oh, and I'm going to do a title. This is an alphabet, a Thickers foam alphabet. I think it's Amy Tangerine +1, but I really love the black scripty alphabet. So, simple title, just me and you is the title. And then I'm going to use the sticker letters that came in the scrapbooking kit, which are they're like an orangey red. They're not matchy, but I really want to use everything that came in this kit. I just got the new May kit. I haven't opened up the box yet, but I really want to kill this kit before I start digging into the new one. That's my goal. So as long as I use the sticker letters a little bit, I will consider that good. So I just put them right on this layout. So the title is Me and You Forever, and I was going to add sisters on there, but I really didn't feel the need to do so. So there, my title is done. And now I'm going to work on the banner on the bottom there. So I had some orange twine, and I'm just going to, I can't decide if I want to like just make a little knot with the cabochon on top, or maybe I'll tie a bow and put the cabochon. And then if you watch Nicole Jones' 911 process videos, she always uses twine, baker's twine, and she makes like this little circle, twine circle. So right there I just made one. Not quite as well as Nicole Jones 911 makes one, but so I decide that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make that little twirly thing with the twine and then string some across and put the chipboard banner on top. And I'm going to use a little bit of pop dots also, just to give the banner some dimension on top of the twine. So just 3 pieces of chipboard to make the banner. And now I need another loop on that side, and my fingers have quite a bit of glue on them, so not so easy to make the loop-de-loop. And Nicole Jones 911 is definitely a pro at it. So not bad for a first try. So I'm just going to glue that down to the page and then glue another little cabochon on top. And I used a lot of glue, so I'm going to have to clean up the middle of that little twine circle. There, I just got rid of the extra glue. Thank goodness that glue dries clear. And then I'm just going to use some glue dots to put the cabochons on top. There. Now my banner is finished. And I'm just about done with this page. I remembered then that I wanted to use some butterflies, because one of the Stash Buster challenges this time around on the 2Ps General Scrapping message board is to use at least 3 butterflies. You should come check out the Stash Busters challenge over at the General Scrapping board. There are 4 or 5 new challenges every 2 weeks, and the more you play, the more chances you have to win a small little scrapping goodie from me. So I just used one of my Martha Stewart punches and punched 3 little butterflies out of one of the scraps I had. And I inked up the edges of them with my ink applicator just so they didn't blend in too much. And then I'm going to use another little butterfly on the other side. I'm just going to flip the paper around. Now it's going to show the little graph side. Inked up the edges and stuck it down. So there, 4 little butterflies on there. And I didn't put any journaling. I've done a lot of journaling about me and my sister together. And as a finishing touch, I decided to use a little Heidi Swapp Gold Lame, sprinkling it on, some big drops, and some little sprinkles. And that's it. The page is finished. And, oh, one last thing. I'm going to add a little bit of gold rickrack through the hole in my tag. And then the page is done. So I hope you got a chance to do some scrapping on National Scrapbooking Day. I did. Had a lot of fun. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.